supposed to feel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, hand to the bat, put me in the...
Good morning, everyone. So as you saw, I did a HIIT workout this morning, and HIIT and I have an interesting past. I have definitely abused HIIT training in the past, and for those of you who don't know, HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. I have definitely abused HIIT in the past, where it not only negatively impacted my riding, but it also was impacting my health in a negative way, and it was not good. But me and HIIT are getting along much better now, and it has actually really helped my riding. And so I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys not to do HIIT. I think it definitely has a place in like an overall equestrian fitness regime, but there are reasons to be cautious, and I kind of want to chat about that today and then talk about how to go about it in a better way than I have in the past. But I am headed to the barn right now. We're gonna go get a ride in, and then we can chat about that. All right, we're just about to saddle up and go for a ride. I just wanted to touch on like kind of the reasons to be cautious with HIIT, and the biggest one is fatigue and all that stuff, and how it directly relates to or impacts your riding performance. So back in the day, I would do HIIT training a lot, and it would always be before my rides. I would work out first thing in the morning, and then immediately after having, I think I would have some sort of snack and then go and ride. And the HIIT training that I was doing is a lot of what you guys saw this morning. So it's a lot of like jump squats and like a lot on my legs. And I would get out to the arena, get ready to ride, and I would be smoked. Like I would have nothing left, especially in my legs, to ride my horse. And so obviously that's impacting my riding, the results I'm getting, the training that I'm doing with my horse. Like it was bad. I could not ride the way that I wanted to ride, the way that I needed to ride, and it was all directly because of HIIT. If I had cut it back, or at the very least, like cut it out completely or scaled it back, my riding would have very much, I can almost guarantee it would have skyrocketed. It would have been so much better, but there was a lot of other things going on for why I was abusing HIIT. I did have an eating disorder, and that was all kind of tied into that. But yeah, fatigue, recovery, and how that's all impacting your riding performance is like the big cautionary tale of HIIT for when it comes to people who ride horses. So if it's impacting your riding, then obviously something needs to change. You're not going about it correctly, and you need to make some tweaks so that riding is not impacted, and if it is impacted, it's for the better, right? So like I'm in a spot now where I'm doing HIIT in a healthy way, and I've actually seen improvements in the saddle because of that. So we're all ready to head up to the arena to go ride. And just one more like cautionary thing with HIIT is if you're not doing it properly, even when you are doing it properly, there is a very high risk of injury when you're doing HIIT because, like I said, many forms of HIIT involve a lot of jumping, a lot of quick movements where you're changing direction really fast. Not all forms of HIIT are like that, but a lot of them are, especially the kind that I do, as you guys saw earlier. And because of that, like high intensity and the quick movements and all that stuff, you can get injured. And if you're not recovering well, if you're fatigued, if you're overdoing it, if you're not fueling your body properly, you could get hurt. And obviously that sucks. Like, if you're hurt, now what, right? You're gonna be forced to take time off, which, if you're like me, I hate taking time off. I just want to be as healthy and as able as possible all the time. And so that's just another cautionary thing about HIIT. If you can't afford to get injured, I would almost say, like, don't bother with HIIT. Like, you can do low intensity or moderate intensity training and get awesome results as well. Like, HIIT is not required in any way to be a fit equestrian, a fit human. It's just one modality that you can potentially use. And if the risk of injury, the risk of overtraining, all those things it doesn't sound like it's worth it to you, then do something else. Do something else. So we are going to head up to the arena and get a ride in. We had a really good ride. I will say my legs weren't quite as fresh as they would be had I, say, done an upper body workout this morning. Like, I definitely could tell that I worked my legs this morning. But like I said, it's a far cry from my days of, like I said, my words, abusing HIIT. So we're gonna head to the barn and then we'll kind of go through like what you can do to set yourself up for success when it comes to doing HIIT. Okay, so let's talk about HIIT and how you can bring it into your exercise regime so that it helps you rather than hurts you. Like avoid the mistakes I made. And the first thing I would say is start slow. So I think people, they get excited about, ooh, I'm gonna do HIIT or like anything really, and they jump in with both feet, they go like 100 miles an hour, and then they crash and burn. And especially with something as intense as HIIT, we don't want to do that. You need to start slow. So I would say, like, if you're following YouTube HIIT videos and stuff like that, find something that is no longer than like 20 minutes, where the intervals are on the shorter side of things, it's not super intense, and the rest periods are a bit longer. So like intervals of 30 seconds and then resting for 30 to 60 seconds at least, or like until you've caught your breath and then go again for another 30 seconds. We want to start really slow, and I would say doing that same workout once, maybe twice a week for at least a month, possibly even 2 months, depending on your current level of fitness, and then increasing from there. We want your body to get introduced to the stimulus, get introduced to the workout and the demands that it brings to your body, get used to it, adapt, and then we can add more. We don't want you going into hour-long workouts that have 60-second intervals with 15 seconds of rest. Like, no, please do not do that. So start off nice and slow. Again, if you're following YouTube videos, type in like low intensity HIIT or easy HIIT workouts, and again, nothing longer than 20 minutes. I know you might be all gung-ho for this, but it is much better to start slow and build from there, as opposed to like going all in and then completely wrecking yourself. The next thing with HIIT is warming your body up properly. So because, again, as I've mentioned, HIIT can be a lot of dynamic, really quick and abrupt movements, making sure that your body, your joints, your ligaments, your muscles are all warmed up is really, really important. So, doing some walking followed by maybe some jumping jacks, and then just like doing some dynamic stretching to make sure that your body can move in all the directions it's going to need to, that everything's feeling okay, nothing's tight, and that everything's warmed up and ready to go. If you do not warm up, that is how you are going to burn out. My next tip would be to not make HIIT your only modality. In fact, if you are limited on how much you can work out and all that sort of a thing, I would definitely recommend not going with HIIT and going with strength training instead. We want you to be strong rather than like hammering your body with what's basically cardio, right? So if you have limited time, can only get in a limited number of workouts, HIIT is not going to be your choice. So we want, that being said, if you do have time and you can do multiple workouts a week, I would say strength training is number one. And then like any like equestrian specific, oh my gosh, we got cats fighting in the background. Disregard what they're doing back there. So yes, strength training, making sure you're doing like any of your functional workouts, and then you can add in cardio on top of that, which would be where HIIT would come into play. Then we have to talk about recovery. So it's one thing to do the workouts, it's another thing to recover from those workouts. So the demands placed on your body from a HIIT workout, especially if you're doing like the jumping sort of things, again, like I was doing this morning, it's a lot on your joints and everything. Hey! It's a lot on your body, so making sure you recover. Again, I don't want you doing more than 2 HIIT workouts a week, and we don't want them like back to back. Like I usually do mine, I do 2 a week, and I'll do it on a Wednesday and then on a Saturday. So I have plenty of time in between to recover, and if I'm feeling beat up by the time Saturday comes around, I might just opt out of that second HIIT workout for the week, because it's not worth burning myself out. It's not worth potentially getting hurt. I want to get stronger. And so, yeah, if I'm not feeling it, I just skip that second workout for the week. And another thing is fueling properly. I feel like I say this in every single video that I do. You need to eat. You need to eat. HIIT burns a lot, and then the afterburn, recovering from that workout, requires calories too. So you need to be eating enough. And a little bit on like nutrient timing. So I had a quick snack before my workout this morning because I worked out first thing, so I didn't want a full breakfast quite yet. Had a good snack, and then immediately after I was done, I ate, and then I ate like 3 hours later again, and making sure there was plenty of carbs in those meals, because that's what's going to give me energy for the workout, and then what needs to be replenished after I work out, especially because now I rode as well. Like, I need energy, and energy comes in the form of calories. So make sure you're eating. I'll just say here, if you're doing a fat loss phase, HIIT is probably not a great idea, just because, again, it requires so much of you. You need to be fueling your body so that you can recover. And in a fat loss phase, obviously you're in a deficit, which is not great for recovery and all of that stuff. So I would say stick to low intensity cardio when you're in a fat loss phase. When you're back, at maintenance or gaining a bit of weight, that is when you can implement HIIT, because that is when you're able to properly fuel your body. And my last note is listen to your body. I think we all know when we can push a little more or when we've gone overboard. You really need to listen to that. I was very much guilty of just ignoring my body, which is not great. And again, how you end up getting burnt out. So definitely listen to your body. If you need a rest day, take a rest day. If the workouts are too intense, scale them back, either by like tightening up, shorten the intervals, lengthen the rest periods, or just shorten the workout altogether. Do the workouts less frequently. Sleep in, fuel, all those things. So yeah, that's kind of my 5 tips for if you're wanting to implement HIIT. It has its place, but like I said, it can be a little bit of playing with fire if you're not being careful. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me either in the comments here or on Instagram. I'm at Strong in the Saddle everywhere. And until next time, remember, it's always a good day to ride.